Hello, everybody, and welcome to the second episode of our What No You Explain Tournament of Champions. Last episode's bout was one for the books, but we're not remotely done yet. I'm your host, Braden Thorvaldson, up in the booth. The crowd is absolutely fueled with trivia-based bloodlust, and I still cannot believe that we've taken over Madison Square Garden yet again. That'll teach them to leave the doors unlocked. Anyways, we've got one heck of a trivia battle tonight as the co-hosts of Last Gen Arcade face each other in what can be defined as the single most music and video game specific matchups we've had yet. Nathan versus Will. Both of them know their way around a mic. In different circumstances, both are men of the world. And I'm sure one of them walking away with the victory will absolutely not sour their working relationship and friendship. Hopefully. We'll find out. All right, now we will head down to one of our two ringside reporters who's standing by with Nathan right now. Braden? Thanks, Braden. I'm here right now with Nathan, who seems mustache steady and ready to go. Nathan, I know this is a big matchup for you tonight, taking on your podcasting co-host and longtime friend. So, did you do any extra preparation for this bout?
Let me tell you something, Mr. Braden. I'm here to take down Will Callan and his hot dogging and his showboating and his freewheeling. And in that regard, I did absolutely no research. I'm actually hungover right now. So, let's do it.
Listen, you don't get much more rock and roll than just showing up mildly hungover. And speaking of rock and roll, as of course our viewers know, you are the guitarist and one of the songwriters of Brain Bent, described as a tightly wound machine of jagged post-punk menace filtered through the banality of corporate jargon and powered by late-stage capitalist dread. Do you think this, along with your podcasting experience, might give you an edge tonight?
Maybe, but I think if anything's going to give me an edge, it's properly hydrating in this weakened state that I am in from the 4 old fashions I had last night at 2 a.m. while I watched Deadpool. Not a good movie.
Oh, four old fashions. Are we talking a single pour or a double pour?
We're talking at whatever's left kind of pour, you know?
The whatever's left kind of pour. Good God. Well, that is entirely fair. All right.
Well, I don't know if your father ever did this, but it's like one finger's a pour. Mm-hmm. And then you do another 2 fingers, and then it's just whatever's left. That's the third pour.
That's fair. Ramp upwards. I have a vague recollection, but I suppose I can unearth those memories a later time. So again, on to your opponent. What do you say to the rumors about your opponent that he has in fact not been working on an entire new season of Chapter by Chapter, where in theory he's been working on a season about the Wheel of Time, the Shadow Rising, but has in fact spent the time with his other co-host frenetically quizzing him on increasingly obscure factoids to increase his chance of winning?
I know for a fact that's horseshit, because the next season of Chapter by Chapter, I think, is actually going to be about Breaking Dawn, the 3rd book in the Twilight Saga. He's been telling me about it. The pre-production on it's been huge. Wait, is that the 3rd book? I can't remember.
I think you might be right.
I totally knew that. I totally pulled that right out of the can, So, but here's the thing: books are for fucking nerds. So who cares? Hot dog and showboating. Oh yeah.
Oh, I've never been sadder. This isn't a video podcast. So. Lastly, I know that your opponent's far away on the other side of the arena with our other ringside reporter, but if he were here right now, in front of you, right in front of your face, would you have any trash talk for him?
Oh, I just tell him that Will Mania is but a grain of sand in the Sahara Desert that is Nathan Madness. Oh, yeah.
Oh, and Nathan Madness has taken over this arena. Thank you, Nathan, and good luck tonight. We'll head on over to the other side with Will, who is talking to our other reporter. Braden? Thanks, Braden. I'm here tonight with Will, who seems cool, collected, and trivia ready. Will, I know that by and large you and Nathan are more of a co-op group, but so for the switch to PvP tonight, did you do any extra preparation for tonight's trivia throwdown?
People Champ has one question for you. Do you think I did any preparation for this trivia showdown?
You also hungover?
It doesn't matter what you think. The People's Champ. I can't go any further. No, I have not done any preparation because the People's Champ doesn't need preparation. All right. I'm constantly prepared all the time for anything, for any moment. So I don't need to prep because I'm already prepped, baby.
Absolutely spectacular. Thank you. Thank you, Will. Allegedly the People's Champ. So, of course, as our viewers know, you not only co-host 2 podcasts, you also run the podcast network they are on, the Chaps Network, and are the drummer for the Galacticas, a pop-punk band based in Calgary. Given this wide variety of these projects and the distinct possibility that we're getting you in between 2 other recording sessions, do you think this might help you tonight?
Absolutely, because I'm always fresh. I'm always prepared. I'm always fresh. I'm always warmed up, ready to go. There's no surprises in my world. All right, you could throw me all kinds of curveballs. I'm going to catch those curveballs. I'm going to throw them back at you as a spirally curveball. It's just gonna. I'm so ready. I'm so ready. I'm so ready.
You're so ready. I love that. I would say we love that enthusiasm over here. So quickly, let's talk about your opponent. What do you say to the rumors about your opponent that not only does he have a band called Brain Bent, he has in fact slightly bent his own brain to help retain more factoids, albeit at the very specific cost of being unable to remember who was the captain of the USS Voyager in Star Trek Voyager?
What do I have to say about that? I think Nathan can only operate when his brain is bent. That is the only way he can operate. That is the only way that he can just function in the world. So I feel very strong about this coming competition because I've got normal brain.
Oh man, you know what? I think we've covered that. I would say we may have covered this, but again, I know that your opponent's again far away on the other side of the arena with our other ringside reporter. But if he were here right now, right in front of your face, would you have any trash talk for him?
No, because I'm a gentleman.
You're right. I was just going to say the high road's the way to go. All right, thank you. Thank you very much, Will. And we'll throw on over to the announcer who seems just about to start the battle.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, others of all ages, tonight is the night of the second matchup of the What Know You Explain Tournament of Champions. We've got a trivia brawl to start them all tonight, with 2 opponents raring for a fight. In the red corner, coming in with 2 bands, 1 podcast, and 41 episodes as of this recording, the man who has beaten Trials of the Sword and Breath of the Wild, the entirety of Mega Man 2, and Duke Nukem Forever. It's the grim guitarist, the mustachioed maniac, the Iles of Annihilation himself, Nathan Iles. And in the blue corner, coming in with 1 band, 2 podcasts, and 301 publicly available episodes as of this recording, it's the man who crashed a Hell on Wheels rap party, the Andy Serkis Planet of the Apes apologist, and the man who knows more about the Wheel of Time series than anyone without the last name Sanderson. Sriracha may be too spicy for him, but he can handle the heat of this matchup. It's the drummer of doom, the podcasting impresario, the pop-punk prankster himself. It's Will Cowan. Gentlemen, we want a nice clean fight. No Uncle John's bathroom readers hidden up your shirt, and keep that Reader's Digest closed. Will, you get to pick the category first, and we will give you 5. You have Pranks of History, Science, Extremely Close and Incredibly Violent, Better Dead Than Red, and of course, The Grab Bag.
Better Dead Than Red.
Better Dead Than
I'll
Red.
get on that.
All right. Statement number 1. As of course you know, we're playing 2 truths and a lie. 2 of these statements are the absolute truth. One of them is absolute horseshit. So, statement number 1. During the Cold War, there were a lot of ideas thrown around on how to demoralize Soviet forces. One of the ideas floated was to airdrop extra large-sized condoms onto the Soviet forces, but all labeled medium. In theory, this was supposed to make the Soviets think the Americans were anatomically superior to them and be afraid of fighting them. Number 2. In 2011, the Canadian press obtained sections of Cold War-era maps of strategically significant waterways such as the Northwest Passage, proving that the Soviets did have a significant exploratory presence around Canada, despite the massive American nuclear deterrence nearby. The maps were so good that in fact, almost unanimously, Russian ships traveling in the area today prefer to use these maps citing their incredible detail, which worried many American politicians, but more than a few Canadian academics and explorers suggested that we just buy the charts from the Russians and get the information ourselves.
Ooh.
Number 3. Declassified Soviet documents unearthed in 2018 have detailed the existence of the Murmansky Institute Linguistichevo Vzaimonpoнимания, give or take, or the Murmansk Institute of Linguistic Understanding, wherein Soviet spies and select KGB agents that would have first contact with Americans or would be inserted onto American soil would be trained. This institute, located along the northwest coast of Russia, had a very specific remit. This institute was designed to give attending agents a credible American accent, but not just any accent. The single most trustworthy accent, according to the Soviets, was a Midwestern accent, specifically from Illinois. This institute was designed to give Russian agents a credible Illinois accent. The Murmansk Institute was in operation from 1959 until 1988, when it was dissolved by Mikhail Gorbachev. So, Will, since you chose the category, Nathan, you get to answer first. We're going to just get the answer first, and then we'll go into the explanation later. So, Nathan, which one of these do you think is the lie?
I think it's the last one about the accents.
All right, we're locking you in for accents. Will, how about yourself?
Ooh, I would say... Oh, I'm going to cop out. I'm going to say yes, the accents. I'm going to lock in for the accents as well.
All right.
Not quite the people's champ now, are you? You know, we really missed an opportunity to call you people's chap.
Oh. You're,
the good
you're
ideas. They just flow from my brain.
I know.
You must have watched the new Dune trailer before recording today.
Oh, Rude Dooners, rise the fuck up right now. Right now.
Yeah, boy.
We're all up. We're up. Well, 2 of them are up, I assume. All right. So you both locked in the accent school. Nathan, we're going to go with you first. What makes you think that there wasn't a Soviet School of Illinois accents?
Well, to answer this question, I need to take you all the way back to when I was 6. Mm-hmm. And my grandpa would show me all his favorite movies, and one of those movies was the classic John Landis film Blues Brothers, starring John Belushi, Dan Aykroyd. And if you'll remember, in the Blues Brothers, they come across a Nazi demonstration on a bridge in Illinois. And then John Belushi says, "Illinois Nazis, I hate these guys." Ergo, if there's a large enough Nazi presence in Illinois, and that's right, Illinois listeners, I'm telling you right now, you're all... Actually, I'm not going to say that. Can we censor that?
I was just going to say, we've already had to cut something for the previous episode, so, you're fine. Yeah. You're fine.
What I'm saying is, there were 2 certain diametrically opposed political ideologies in World War II. Mm-hmm. And if there's enough of those in Illinois, I don't think a Soviet base would have much traction. I'm really losing the plot on this. Blues Brothers. That's why I picked
it. To summarize, yeah. Blues Brothers. Nope, that's entirely fair. Will, I know you said it was a cop-out, but do you have a bit of an explanation?
Okay, so my theory is, I was going to go for the condom one for a second there, but then I realized that's a very American tactic, okay? That's a very kind of like my junk is bigger than yours sort of thing, and I think I can believe that happening at some point in history. I think the Vikings probably did that first by throwing smaller sacks of hay or something like that at their end.
I like this image of because I'm picturing condoms so big that they're like umbrellas that land on people and shit,
Yeah,
they're just Mary Poppinsing. They're just Mary Poppinsing down from just like a bomber. Yep.
It's like when you're playing Dead Space and those babies show up with the 3 fucking tentacles, but they're condoms, right?
Yeah.
That's a very specific image for a few listeners.
That the other reason why is because I don't believe Illinois is the most friendly accent. I think out of all the American accents that there are, and there are a number of American accents out there, they're not all the same. I'd probably say Boston is probably up there. It will probably okay. So hear me out. I see Nathan's face, and he's like, "Are you kidding me right now?"
You've never been sworn at by a fucking
got
Boston angry baseball fan or some shit.
Yeah, but that's the thing is like it's done from a place of love. They will kill you and chew you out, but it's from a place of love. I think that's probably one of the more friendly accents out there.
I think we've met different Bostonians, Will. I really do. I really
think so,
do.
Yeah, probably.
You know what? But I would say I have good news for the both of you. You are correct. That was entirely made up, and apparently you took two different, incredibly different routes to it. But yes, congratulations. You're both on the board. 1-1.
Generation X.
I think the friendliest American accent is the upper Midwestern, like the Minnesota accents, because it's like Canadian.
Oh, Minnesota.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Minnesota.
right? Fargo, right?
Yeah, the one I was just saying the one with the murders. Yeah, no, that one. The Minnesota murders. Yeah.
But they were like really polite murders, you know?
Super polite murders. Absolutely. Okay, now I need to gently drag myself out of this accent because that is a very easy accent to just stay in.
And I'm going to, dear listeners, at the time of recording, I'm going to New York in 4 days. I can't wait to engage with some of the friendly accents out there, my friends. Holy shit.
Absolutely.
Well, good luck. I was just gonna say good luck. Good luck in Brooklyn or Manhattan. Wherever, man. All right.
I want a slightly overweight Italian man to yell at me that I'm taking too long to order a sandwich. That's all I want. That's fucking all I want. I want the gut hanging from the stomach, you know? The guts they do hanging over the waistband, you know what I mean?
No, I gotcha. I was just gonna say, and again, I almost positive that'll happen maybe within pretty much as soon as you leave the airport. As soon as you leave the airport, you're ordering something. Yeah, that's what's gonna happen. Thank you to all my New York listeners. But if you see Nathan somewhere in New York, cuss him out a little, why don't you?
I'm gonna be lost. I'm not gonna know what I'm fucking doing. It's Mushroom Kingdom. Here we go.
We come.
Oh no. All right, Nathan, you get to pick next. You got Pranks of History, Science, Extremely Close and Incredibly Violent, and of course, The Grab Bag.
Let's go with Grab Bag. Let's mix it up.
Let's go to the Grab Bag. And again, this, as you might have guessed, it's 3 statements that I just couldn't fit anywhere else. So, statement number 1. When you cut a circular cake, it's usually in a wedge from the center. If you put it away overnight, most of the cake stays fresh, but each wedge that you cut from then on will always have a dry side. Sir Francis Galton, famed British scientist, inventor of regressions, fingerprints, weather maps, and the dog whistle, an apparent hater of dried pastries, set out to solve that problem. In 1906, Galton wrote an article in the magazine Nature entitled Cutting a Round Cake on Scientific Principles, where he posited that the best way to cut a round cake is right in the middle, removing that middle sliver, and then pushing the 2 remaining pieces together. If another piece is required, cut from the other side, and repeat that until the cake is finished. Number 2. Well, you've heard of cocaine bears, but what about cocaine hedgehogs? Hedgehogs were an integral part of a drug bust in 2019. I can see the Sonic references just bubbling up in both of you, but
Gotta go fast.
go real fast. Hedgehogs were an integral part of a drug bust in 2019, just outside the Italian town of Montepulciano, where they
What the fuck was Eggman doing this time? Holy shit.
Listen, it's gonna go up in this. It's gonna all show up in that Knuckles documentary that they're doing for wherever the fuck. In that Knuckles documentary, where the hedgehogs ended up digging up and destroying a stash worth approximately 20,000 euros. Police were investigating drug trafficking in the area and heard on a wiretap of the suspects complaining about hedgehogs unearthing the stash and scattering it around the forest. This was part of a larger investigation into the drug cartel that was moving several pounds of cocaine a month throughout several provinces in Italy. So the hedgehogs seem to have actually made a dent in a drug ring. Good job, Hedgehogs.
Wow.
Number 3. Colorado joined the Union part of the United States in 1876, and Congress declared that its boundaries were a rectangle, stretching from 37 north to 41 north latitude and from 25 west to 32 west longitude. It's one thing to say it, but it's another for a survey team to go down and actually put markers in, given that this was the 19th century, and Colorado is an incredibly mountainous place. It wasn't for another 3 years that the Union managed to send down a surveying team to actually mark down what was Colorado and what wasn't. Between deviations bowing to geography, instrument error, and pure human fallibility of somebody literally hiking along what they thought was the edge of Colorado, Colorado is in fact a 697-sided state. A bit of a far cry from the initial 4-sided declaration.
Okay.
All right. Nathan, you got to pick the category, so Will, you get to answer first.
It's rigged. God damn it. It's rigged.
Okay, I think the Hedgehogs. I think the Hedgehogs is not true.
All right. I would say we'll lock you in. We'll lock you in for that. Nathan, what are we thinking?
God damn it. I think it's the Hedgehogs too. Are we on this much of the same fucking wavelength, Will?
Maybe.
God, this is what I get for having people who have a podcast together.
But I have reasons. I'm sure Will has reasons too.
I was just gonna say I was saying, believe me, that's where we're going next. We've locked you both in for Hedgehogs, so we're both gonna hear your fucking reasons. Will, explain yourself.
Well, okay. It was not necessarily because I thought the Hedgehog things is a lie. It's because I think the other two answers seem a little too true.
Mm-hmm.
So, like Colorado being like a 600 something sided state, I believe that because of the mountains. The mountains just like fuck everything up. I'm sure, like if you take I'm sure if you look it up for Alberta itself, it's probably something around that same ballpark because of the mountains. Like the number of sides are crazy. So that sounds true to me. The other side, with the cake guy, I truly believe that the guy who invented the dog whistle had enough time on his hands to figure out how to keep cakes moist.
Yeah,
that's a guy who's like that's his career is just hobby making and just fiddle around with stuff. So I think he had enough time to figure out. Has no one
heard of a fucking just cake? Like lid, the cake pans that just have a lid. Am I going crazy here?
You still have a little bit of just that exposed cake.
I'm so sorry. The cake's a little stale. I didn't realize we were putting on airs here about cake. I didn't realize that.
Well, I mean, I would say it is a person. It is Sir Francis Galton. So if anyone gets to put on airs, it's probably the guy who got knighted.
I think he was Jack the Ripper. That's who I think that was. But
it's also 1907, so they might not even have invented lids yet. I don't know.
Have we seen the proof? Do we have any archaeological evidence of further lids? We don't know, man. Who's heard of that 19th century lid? Not me.
Yeah, exactly. Sure, I'll see it. I'll believe it when I see it. All right.
Big archaeology's hiding it again.
Yeah, those fucking archaeologists, man, they're so dishonest. Yeah.
All right.
I'm waiting for the big hip hop song called "Fuck the Archaeologists" to come out.
Yeah. I'm saying so they're going immediately from "fuck the police" to just jumping over a lot of other responders and just "fuck the archaeologists."
This is the thing. My brother-in-law is a firefighter, and I'm like, your ego's too big. We really need like an Ice Cube song called "Fuck the Firefighters."
You know what? I would say it again. That in time. Once his acting career sort of slowed down a little bit, realizes he actually still raps. Anyways, Nathan, why do you think that hedgehogs aren't digging their way through cocaine?
Okay, I am both a Sonic head and I've gone down a Wikipedia hole about the Cocaine Bear because that movie was coming out and I was like, is this shit real? And it's real, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Two things. I guarantee I would have seen something about cocaine hedgehogs in my Wikipedia like binge about the cocaine bear somewhere in there. Okay, so there's that. But also, I don't trust the Sonic fandom to not make fucking stupid ass memes about Sonic on cocaine. If this hedgehog cocaine story was true. So I'm basing my answer on my faith in Wikipedia and my lack of faith in the Sonic fandom. So there it is.
I am very much loving that you guys are ending in the same thing and just going at it from two entirely different directions each and every time. And son of a bitch, it's working for you. You guys are 2 for 2.
Yes.
I will say though, I literally only added hedge to the Montepulciano. They have a problem with cocaine-based pigs.
Hogs?
Yeah.
Cocaine hogs?
Yep. That is
I haven't
the
seen
equivalent of what they've added. Yep.
Now that's a Tim Allen movie I want to see. That's a deep cut.
Just a little bit. Oh, holy shit. All right. So I would say you guys are 2 for 2 right now, and I am starting to worry that I'm losing my touch. All right, Will, you've got pranks of history, science, and extremely close and incredibly violent.
Extremely close and incredibly violent.
Extremely close and incredibly violent. All right. Statement number 1. During the American Civil War, the Battle of Bull Run was called the Picnic Battle because so many civilians from nearby Washington went on picnics from the sidelines and just watched. But once the battle actually started and the Union started losing very badly, the spectators ran away, running over injured soldiers, dead bodies, and overall just interrupting the battle. Number 2. During World War II, the Japanese set up and released approximately 9,000 wingship weapons, which were basically paper and rubberized silk balloons that carried incendiary and anti-personnel bombs over the United States. It remained one of the most successful Japanese attacks on the American mainland, as the balloons were launched during a particularly strong drought season and the incendiary bombs set a significant portion of dried brush alight, causing over 50 deaths in the ensuing fire. Number 3. Canada didn't used to be the nice, peacekeeping nation that we know them as today. In World War I, they had a slightly worrisome approach to trench warfare. Apparently, the Canadian forces used to throw parcels of food over into the German trenches, and given that the Germans had fewer supplies than the Canadians did, they went for the food. This continued on for a few days, and the Germans got used to the inexplicable generosity of the Canadians. Then one day, the Canadians threw grenades. The German soldiers sped over the package that they thought was food, and kaboom! Trench cleared of German soldiers.
Wow.
All right, Will, you got to choose the category. Nathan, you get to guess first.
I'm gonna go with Did you have a name for those balloons in that second question? Did they have a name? Was that a part of your question? I can't remember.
I would say the English translation is basically windship weapons.
Windship weapons.
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit. These are all like history-ish, and I like history a lot. So I'm all like,
Yeah, this one's tough. I feel like I got one. I think I know, but I'm gonna wait for Nathan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with the balloons. Like the answer
balloons?
2. Yeah.
All right. I would say, Will, how about yourself?
I'm gonna go for the Civil War one. So we're not on the same page on this one.
I was just gonna say, this is the separation. Okay. So Nathan, as the first guesser, you don't think about the. I would say you don't think the windship weapons were a thing. Why not?
Okay. I know for a fact the grenades one is true. Like I went through a big World War I thing, and that is definitely a thing I've read about. And like I'm not as big on Civil War history, but that sounds very familiar. So it's more so that I think the other two are more true than that one. And I feel like I remember reading about these Japanese balloons, but I feel like they had a different name or something. Or I think I thought they had a funny name, and it was because of something else inside of them. So that's why I was asking for the name. So, but I could be totally fucking wrong. This could be it. This could be it for the superpowers combined. So
no, distinct possibility. Distinct possibility, and we will find out shortly.
I'm like 50-50 on this. This is a bit of a throwaway for me, but we'll see.
We'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
I would say, all right, Will. I would say you don't think I was just going to say you don't think this was a spectator sport for a little bit?
No, well, for the Civil War, and you said Washington, and the Union was retreating while they were in Washington, and something about the location, like where the battle is taking place, like how close. And we're talking Washington D.C. We're not talking Washington State up in the Pacific Northwest, right?
Battleable. Give me a split second to confirm. Because I just wrote down Washington. And I really probably should have specified. It was...
That's right. We're asking the questions now.
Yeah.
What you explain, Braden?
Yeah. That's... Son of a bitch, I thought this would be easier. I could offload some of my work. Nope. Nearby Washington, D.C.
Okay, so the fact that you looked it up... It's in the battle... Okay. I feel like I want to retract my answer because
Too late.
Okay, well, something about it being so close to Washington D.C. seems a little bit weird to me, and that's why I picked it.
Nope, that is entirely fair. That is
because
entirely
the Union won.
Oh yeah,
like the war. So if it's true, then it'd be hard for me to believe that the Union lost that battle so close to Washington, D.C. But I could be wrong. There's another one, like Nathan, this is kind of a 50-50 throwaway, especially now that you looked it up.
Yeah, no, that's an entirely fair thing. I just said nearby Washington. Ugh.
Okay.
Well, I was just going to say, this is where the two of you delineate, because number 2 is the lie. Nathan is 3-0 so far.
Oh, bitch!
Yeah! Oh, yeah!
Yeah, no, I would say, Will, I won't lie.
That third fact is fucked. If y'all have it, like, look up Canada in World War I. Holy shit. Passchendaele was insane.
Yeah.
People were very scared of us. People were very scared of that maple leaf on the helmet.
Yep. Or incredibly, there is a reason that we ended up getting slightly separated away from the British, because we were the British maniacs in World War.
Tactics are now Geneva Convention violations.
Yep. Oh, absolutely. Without a doubt. We were efficient, but yes, war crimes. But yes, absolutely war crimes. All right, I was just gonna say we've got a 3-2. We've got a 3-2 right now, and Nathan, you get to pick pranks of history or science.
Pranks of history. Come on.
I mean, don't say come on. I would say you missed. I would say you didn't do it the first time, so there's no come on.
Who would pick science?
Well, Will's gonna next time. All right, statement number 1. Depending on who you ask, Mark Antony and Cleopatra either created a sect designed to worship Dionysus, the Greek god of wine, or basically just created a drinking club with their friends. Regardless, after a day of getting absolutely shittered, one of Mark Antony and Cleopatra's favorite pranks was to don disguises and play practical jokes on people in the streets of Alexandria in Egypt. How incognito they could be, well, surrounded by guards is anyone's guess, but they were too plastered to care. To be clear, Mark Antony and Cleopatra were basically running Egypt at the time. It's basically like Obama surrounded by Secret Service agents trying to tie somebody's shoes together. Absolutely shittered. Number 2. In what can be defined as either the single greatest prank or the prank most likely to get everyone involved arrested, on November 16th, 1949, 138 students barged into Gravenstein Castle in Ghent, the Netherlands, locked up the security guard on duty, and barricaded the doors to the castle with a wagon full of rotten fruit. They hung protest signs from the walls of the castle, demanding that the price of beer be reduced back to 3 francs, as it had recently been increased to 4. Yeah, that's what they did. It was just like, great, we're just going in with some rotten fruit. So what I would say, everything was going along fine until some police officers cycling by got pegged with some of the rotten fruit. Matters escalated, and more policemen and firefighters were called. While the students put up a brave fight with a torrent of rotten fruit, they were eventually arrested, though nobody was charged, as public opinion was overwhelmingly on their side, because nobody likes paying more for beer.
This is how you know this story didn't happen in the States, because those kids would have been fucking shot.
Yes, I was just going to say, I was just going to say, again, this is absolutely this wasn't an American thing. That would have ended so much worse anywhere in the States.
I also feel this because they just increased taxes on beer here in Canada. Fucking, I would throw rotten fruit at Justin Trudeau's fucking head. Fuck it.
Yeah, why not? You get to hang out in the castle for a boot.
And then you collect that fruit and you ferment it, and you get more beer. It's a win-win.
That's fair. That's fair. Circle of life. The circle of life. All right. And number 3. In addition to being one of the more well-known Roman emperors, Julius Caesar was also considered something of a joker, though his sense of humor consisted considerably more towards the juvenile. He would sneak into the quarters of his guards when they were sleeping, put a sandal on their hand, and gently tickle their noses with an ostrich feather so that they would slap themselves awake with the sandal. All right, Nathan, since you picked the category, will you get to guess first? I would say Mark okay. Antony, Cleopatra. Go. Sorry. Yes, you know.
Okay. I am going to pick the Mark Antony Cleopatra one as a lie.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, we're locking you in for Mark Antony and Cleopatra. Nathan.
I think the last one, the Julius Caesar ostrich feather one.
All right, we're locking you in for Julius Caesar ostrich feather. All right, Will, you don't think Mark Antony and Cleopatra were punking people?
I'm going to be honest with you. I kind of forgot, but I kind of forgot what the prank was. But I did hear you say Mark Antony, Cleopatra, and worshiping a Greek god. And Mark Antony was from Rome, right?
Mm-hmm. Romans adapted Greek gods, though.
Yep.
They adapted the Greek gods?
Yeah, like they had like a huge respect for ancient Greece, and they changed a lot of them into their own gods.
Mm-hmm.
God damn it. Well, you know what? I don't need to
mansplain ancient Rome to you, Will. But
I don't need to explain my answer. I'm just sticking to my guns here.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say you're locked in at number 1. All right, Nate. I would say
Ares became Jupiter, I think, and
Mars.
Zeus is Jupiter, I think. Yeah,
yep.
Ares is Mars. Yeah, like all the Greek gods have a Roman equivalent, and that was very intentional. It's pretty cool, actually.
Okay. Well, I knew that, but I didn't think that they'd be doing the same thing with like Dionysus and like worshiping a specific Greek god. Like, wouldn't they have like a Roman equivalent for that then?
I think that would be like the equivalent of being really, really hip in Rome, you know?
Yeah.
We don't like the Roman equivalent. We like the original Greek one, you know?
Yeah. I like it when they were. I like the original lineup.
Yeah.
Like listening to vinyl intentionally.
Fuck, this sounds actually, as we're talking about it, becomes more and more factual to me. All right, well, whatever.
All right, Nathan. I was just gonna say, what do we think? I would say you don't think Julius Caesar has his prankish side.
Okay, well, fact 1. This is where being a gamer helps you, friends. There's a joke about that in Assassin's Creed Origins because Cleopatra is like a character in that game. So pretty sure that's true. And 2, I just want the castle revolt to be true. Like, I just want it to have happened. I've never heard of it, but it sounds fucking amazing. So I'm just putting my faith in that. That prank sounds really modern. It sounds like something out of fucking like Porky's. So I don't think it's true.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say your instincts are correct, Nathan. Your instincts are correct.
I don't know what I'm doing right now.
You're just keeping going. And yeah, no, I was just going to say I'm actually stunned that not much else has been written on like the Gravenstein Castle.
Because
like great.
I'm writing that down so I can go down a Wikipedia hole about that later because
There's very little. There's very little.
What heroes those students are. And the thing is, here in Canada, like we don't have castles and shit here, right? So because we stole all our land, right? So it's like
no. Out west, you don't. In the east, we got 13th century, but we got some 17th, 18th.
Like in Calgary, the equivalent of that would be like storming the fucking, I don't know, the Dairy Queen on 16th Ave and throwing fruit at people. I don't know.
Yeah, it's been there since 1966. It's like a staple of our culture.
It's a heritage building.
I won't lie to you.
That was Vern's Tavern.
Yeah.
That was the first thing that took me a while to get used to out here. It's just like, oh shit, there are just buildings that are just matter-of-factly over 100 years old here. It's like, oh, you still just like, yeah, that's just an office building. Dope. All right, cool.
Yeah.
So I was just say it is 4-2. So, Will, I would say you can at the very least pick up a third point if you are wanting.
Yes, let's do it. Let's go the distance.
Let's go the distance. We're playing for distance, we're playing for speed. All right. Science. Oh, boy. All right. So, statement number 1. Etienne Klein, research director at France's Alternative Energies and Atomic Energies Commission, posted a photo that he claimed was taken by the James Webb Space Telescope of the star Proxima Centauri, claiming that it is the single most detailed photo of a red giant star in history. The image had been shared thousands of times on Twitter before Klein revealed that he was basically just playing a practical joke, and the picture of the red star in particular was just, in fact, a piece of chorizo. Klein stated...
Stuck to the telescope?
Nope, just a piece of chorizo on a black background.
Oh my fucking god.
Klein stated that his intention was to educate people about fake news online, stating that, quote, if he hadn't mentioned the James Webb Telescope, people wouldn't have believed it. Number 2. Blood can be used as an egg substitute when baking due to their similar protein composition. A team at Nordic Food Lab studied the science behind blood's coagulating properties and determined that blood is a viable egg substitute in baking. So, if you're out of eggs, and super desperate for a recipe to come off, the substitution ratio is 65 grams of blood for a whole egg, or 43 grams of blood for an egg white.
Whoa.
Number 3, if you really, really, really need that cake to come through, if you really need that cake, and you just can't be bothered to go to the grocery store, you have options. All right, number 3. Botox has been used for decades as a wrinkle remover in an attempt to make people look younger. But a 2019 study done by a Harvard sociologist named Dr. Stephen Howlett found that there is a very negative social effect of Botox. Dr. Howlett showed the results of an experiment where he showed images of people before and after having Botox to participants in a survey and asked them to rank what they thought the people in the images would be like on varying scales. Overwhelmingly, the images of people with Botox were ranked higher on negative traits such as deception or pessimism, while those without Botox treatment ranked higher in positive aspects such as honesty and integrity. So, you may look younger with Botox, but apparently people just won't trust you. All right. Nathan, what do we think is the lie?
I think it's the chorizo one. Number 1.
You don't. All right. Will.
Oh man, this is so hard. This is all like out of my realm of like smartness. Oh man. And I don't want to pick the same answer as Nathan because fuck that guy. So we've got chorizo, we've got blood eggs, and we've got, what was the last one again?
Botox can make you look younger, but people don't think you're a piece of shit.
Yeah,
Botox. Botox makes
Botox liars.
Yeah, Botox liars.
Oh man, I am going to go with. Botox liars sounds like it's true, and I'm doing some research on Botox right now for work. So
I was just gonna say, Will, you look beautiful just as you are.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Maybe a little touch up. Yeah, you know what? And if I look a little dishonest, that's okay.
Fair.
I can go into politics.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go with blood eggs.
All right, we're going with blood eggs. I would say also, blood eggs sounds like some sort. Blood eggs sounds like some sort of. I would say sort of black metal band, doesn't it?
Sounds like hemorrhoids to me.
Yeah, also true. Oh God, also true. I think I now just need to readjust my. Yeah, right. I just need to readjust myself after that. Jesus Christ. All right, Nathan, you don't believe in Chorizo Star?
Yeah, that sounds like some smart ass Reddit shit, man. That doesn't sound real. The second one, it was really like measurement heavy, and I don't know. I was like, it struck me as true. Mm-hmm. And the Botox one I buy. That sounds real. I don't know, because I don't trust. Like, when I see Tom Cruise's fucked up Botox-laden face, I have like a fight or flight response. Mm-hmm. The human knows when someone looks younger than they should, right? It's there's just something deep in the soul that just. So I think that one's true. And then 2, I don't know. I also kind of tuned out. The minute you start talking I hate baking, so the minute you start talking measurements and shit, I'm just like, okay. So I'm like, it's got to be true. It's it's baking, whatever. And so yeah, chorizo. I don't know, man. That sounds like I'd be watching Bones or one of those bad like cop shows,
Mm-hmm.
and or House, right? Mm-hmm. And that would be like the thing House does to like show everyone up about fake news or some shit, right? So
just gently hangs a piece of deli meat and just there's your star.
Yeah. And then he'd have a big monologue about how dumb everyone is and how you shouldn't trust anything you read online and whatever, right? So, But maybe that's me. We'll find out.
We will find out. Will, you don't believe in the blood eggs?
Yeah. There's not much. There's not a lot of thinking involved in this decision. Honestly, all 3 sound like they could be true to me. The blood eggs does sound like it could be true in some way or format. I've done some baking in the past, and there is some black magic fuckery going on in there.
Yeah. Yep, I will agree.
The fake news telescope one seems like it could be true as well, because like in the day and age of us like trying to like be a smartass to everybody on the internet, that sounds like something somebody would do just to be a smartass. And then the last one, which was what was it again?
Botox.
Oh, Botox. Yeah. And I'm with Nathan on there's like an uncanny valley like feeling to it. So I'm really splitting hairs, and I didn't want to choose the same answer as Nathan. So I'm going with blood eggs.
Well, you guys went with separate answers, but you had I would say you had the same results. You both chose the true ones. The Botox one is the lie.
Dang. What?
It's considerably. I would say it's more of a movement. I would say it's more of a movement and sort of like videography reaction.
Okay.
Like that's a little bit more of it. Also,
it's also like knowing a famous person, because all the people I know with Botox are famous, so I know what they look like when they're younger, right?
Oh, that's a part of it, absolutely. Also, I was just reading a lot of Wolverine comics when I was writing this, so Dr. Howlett just sort of popped up. There's no such person as Dr. Stephen Howlett.
I'm speedrunning through all the Fox X-Men movies right now.
Yeah, no, that's also fair. That's also fair. All right, well, in that case, thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have our results, and the winner is Nathan Iles. Nathan will be seeing you back here for the semifinals. Will, thank you so much for coming down. And have a good night, everybody. Hopefully we'll not get chased out of Madison Square Garden in the interim, but worst comes to worst, we'll make a copy of the keys and we'll be back here in 2 weeks. Bye, everyone.
Madness. Madness.